Open it up, get it all proper. 3, 2, 1, now!
The problem with children's stories is they require a beginning. My story would start. After 36 hours of labor in Halifax at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah! Get out.
Other than that, the labor was easy as far as I remember. I finally took my first breath. Then, I was created months before that, and that's no way to start a children's story. So, when my parents met, but then what led to them meeting up and who introduced them? Oh, and why did my mom come to Canada? That's my favorite part. And why did my great-grandmother leave Acadia? That's also really interesting. Oh, and who was hurt when all of those people came from Europe to Canada in the first place? Eventually it gets to the point that the only respectable beginning is once upon a time in what would eventually become both all of the galaxies far, far away and this one, and you, everything exploded. But that's no way to tell a children's story. The universe in all its glory takes billions of years to tell. Fine. My life is not a children's story because it hasn't ended yet. The characters are too numerous, the morals too ambiguous, the rewards too tenuous, to amount to anything with generous promise you would reach for a 5-year-old. Keep the nightmares out. The nature of these stories is simplicity. And how do you sum up 23 and 5 months and 2 days, years, into a packaged narrative devoid of expletive that is reductive while declaring itself substantive, but relative to great works, simplifies, nearly lies. All reward comes from hard work. The black girl at the front of the class won't have to work harder to get where you are now and eventually end up in the back. There are no children's stories about 5-year-olds in Thailand who work double shifts to feed their dying parents and never get out of it. There are no children's stories about 10-year-old girls who sell images of their bodies to aging men around the world to feed themselves. There are no stories of Mary Poppins fighting and take back the night to get her right to be safe. Our children's stories don't explain the pain of being blamed every day and trying in vain to retain a shred of self-respect, or stay sane. That the myriad of ways that people can inflate us and debase us day by day, tear us up in fashions we cannot even begin to name until well into our early 20s, making choices that hurt us more. My story is a work in progress, learning to love myself while fighting mouthy monsters in my mind. It takes time, but I'm learning which monsters to fight. My golden sword is sharper and my path is ever clearer as the fairy godmothers and handsome princes throughout the years guide me to a path, a battle that is only mine to fight. I am the steel-toed princess. With chainsaw in my hand, I search through the land, searching for beauty, merriment, and mirth. My goal is delight, and fight by fight, I will find merriment on this earth.